what I get more of is love. I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of is love. I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of is love. I choose love, love, love. Love, love, love. I choose it, love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. Wanna start my day with peace. I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. Peace, 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 peace. I feel it, peace, 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 peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I feel it, joy, joy, joy. Every day it's joy, joy, joy. I'm choosing joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day.
Good morning, Celebration Center for Spiritual Living. Did you miss me? Because I missed you. Good morning, Celebration Center for Spiritual Living. I'm pretty sure you heard all of that, but did you miss me? Because I missed y'all last week. I had a wonderful time. I went out with some friends and Rev Ryan, and we went to yoga at the National Museum. It was beautiful. And then we went to brunch, and then we went bike shopping, and I have a really fun story about that, but I won't give it away, spoiler alert. So if you don't know who I am Reverend Chris Ashley. I'm the senior minister here at Celebration Center, and I am so glad that you are joining us this morning. So I invite you, because we are fully live streaming right now, if you don't chat us, we don't know you're here and acting, as a part of our community. So please just say hi in the chat. Let us know you're here this morning. Tell us how you're doing. How's the weather? What animal is on your pajamas that you're wearing right now? I don't know. Just reach out and say hi in the chat this morning. We are so glad that you're here and joining us. And I am so happy to be back to join y'all in talking about this idea of play when we talk about living everyday wonder. So that is our March theme, is play. Last week, Reverend Linda gave an absolutely incredible talk on just how we get to hold all of this, everything that is going on, and how we can incorporate the laughter along with the sorrow and just move and flow and shift between emotions. So thank you so much, Reverend Linda Rapond. It was an absolute delight to have you here last week, and to just know that when I'm not here, that the service just runs so smoothly with Irina and Jen and Rev Linda and Ivor and Lynn and all of the people, that it just comes together so beautifully, that we truly have this community. This week, we have Lynn Hollyfield, our music director, back to perform our special music today. And at the end of our service, we have an extra special treat. So be sure to stick around to the very end. Our closing song is spectacular today. We also have as our platform practitioner, Irina Koreshevich, and then I will be speaking on playing Twister with God. So I'm super excited that everybody is here, and that y'all are here, and that I am back. So, also, in the spirit of play this month, today, directly after the service, when we do our community Zoom time, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be playing Pictionary online on Zoom. Everybody can participate. You don't need anything special. It is so much fun. And so please join us directly after the service for our community Zoom time today, where we're going to just come together and play and laugh and do something new and fun together. Okay? And now I invite you to recite our vision along with me. And remember, this vision just directs us and guides us and makes sure that we are all moving forward together as a truly beloved community. And so we are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. Yes, we are. And with that, I would like to invite Lynn for an opening song.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So in the spirit of playfulness, we're going to do this first song, and I think it might be familiar to some people. I just learned it, but I hope you'll sing along with me. It's called The Cat Came Back. Hang on just a moment. A little technical issue there. Here we go. Old Mr. Johnson had some troubles of his own. He had a yellow cat which wouldn't leave his home. He tried and tried to give this cat away. He gave it to a man going far, far away. But the cat came back. The very next day, oh, the cat came back. We thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away, 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 away. He gave it to a farmer, said he'd take it to a farm. The farmer drove the tractor with the cat under his arm. He dropped it in a cornfield, thought he'd surely get lost. The cat ate all the cornfield up at the farmer's cost. Whoa, the cat came back the very next day. Whoa, the cat came back. We thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away, 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 away. He gave it to a trucker that was going to Mexico. The trucker stopped for coffee at the trucker's stop and go. But while he was playing, he knew that he was stuck. He saw the cat jump in the cab and take off with his truck. But the cat came back the very next day. Oh, the cat came back. We thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away, 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 away. He gave it to a pilot with a real nice plane. The pilot could just fly it far away in one day. But the pilot had his troubles, he couldn't touch down, 'cause the cat took control and made the pilot turn around. Oh, the cat came back the very next day. Oh, the cat came back. We thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just wouldn't stay away, 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 away. He gave it to a train conductor, put it on a train. New England's where the train was headed up to Bangor, Maine. He pulled down on the brakes, those wheels screeched on the track. And as it ran away, conductor said, "Here, kitty cat." But the cat came back the very next day. Whoa, the cat came back. We thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away, 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 away. The cat was taken in by a lovely little girl. She loved that yellow cat, she made that cat her world. But now there is a reason for the cat to come back, 'cause it never has to leave and it likes it like that. But the cat came back, it likes where it is. The cat came back, he loves that little girl. The cat came back, he just couldn't stay away, 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 away. He just couldn't stay away, away.
No, not me, not me. Oh, thank you so much, Lynn. And my apologies, everyone, for throwing a ministerial musing overlay up. I was trying to get a cat. Thank you, Lynn. And now we have Irina on next.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Irina Koreshevich, and I'm a practitioner at the center. I would like to welcome everyone who is here, and especially if you're new, we welcome you. And as Reverend Chris said, please give us this opportunity to know who you are and where are you from. And we would love, love, love to get to know you better. Practitioners are the ecclesiastical arm of the Centers for Spiritual Living. Practitioners believe and live from the conviction that prayer works. We start our day with prayer, we end our day in prayer. During the day, we always have lots of opportunities to pray. And we invite you to pray with us. You can submit a prayer request through our website, celebrationcenter.org, or just email us at prayer@celebrationcenter.org. Please write something. Let us know how we can assist you in prayer. Let us know what would you like to change in your life, what doesn't work, or something you would love to expand. Probably you got that momentum going, and please let us know, and we will absolutely be happy and honored to support you in your progress. My reading today is from two different sources. I just was looking, and that what resonated with my heart. and with my thoughts, apparently. Navajo proverb says, thoughts are like arrows. Once released, they strike their mark. Guard them well, or one day you may be your own victim. And the second reading is from Ernest Holmes, 365 Signs of Mind. There is no individual good. Good belongs to everyone. Good fulfills itself only as it multiplies itself. Therefore, there is no good that belongs to you and to me alone. No final peace to us only as individuals. And I absorb this wisdom, the ancient wisdom of people, and the new thought wisdom, as I know that there is only one wisdom, one source of intelligence, one source of peace, one source of love, as I know that there is only one harmony, the divine harmony. And it is equally expressed everywhere in the universe. I know that I am who I am, and I recognize spirit within. And I recognize my power of being a co-creator of this reality, knowing that my thoughts are powerful. And as I recognize my power within, my love within, my peace within, my harmony within, I recognize my unity in oneness with the divine. And I recognize oneness for everyone who hears me now. And I recognize this oneness for those who will never meet me in person, who will never hear my words, who would never play with me. But I know that somewhere in the heart of God, there is only one. And from recognizing how powerful the word is, I guard my word and my thoughts. I create peace within me. I audit. How do I perceive everything around me? And I choose, as God gives me, it is a God privilege to give me this choice. And I choose to see peace, to be peace, to be love, to be joy. I choose my good. And as I know that there is no good for only me, I recognize good for everyone. I recognize peace for the whole planet, for all galaxies. I recognize joy. I recognize harmony, bliss. I recognize perfect relationship from heart to heart, perfect play dates. And my vision is that everyone is playing, and it is safe to play peacefully on this planet together. I know that there is enough fun, enough laughter, enough resources, enough smiles, enough games to play for everyone. And I set my vision so strong, knowing wholeness and perfection for everyone, recognizing our unity, recognizing oneness of God, oneness in spirit. And I am so grateful I'm so grateful for the power of the prayer, knowing that it is a powerful tool to ground me, to bring me together, to see and feel God within and around. I'm so grateful. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be able to speak this word of truth in front of each and every one. And from this deep gratitude, I simply release my words into the law, knowing that it is already done in the perfect mind of God. And I simply say, and so it is.
All right. Thank you, Irina. That was beautiful. Keeping in the spirit of playfulness and Reverend Chris's overlay with the cat that she chose, that picture. I think this song kind of fits that. This is called Bad Kitty. Cutest kitty of the litter, I just couldn't resist her. She was great, but when we got home, well, she started to roam. She's always scratching, always jumping, cuddles closer, nice and friendly, purring louder. It's just a cover. Oh, you will soon discover she's a bad kitty. She's a bad, bad kitty. Yeah, she's pretty, but she's a bad kitty, bad one. Evilest kitty I ever did see. You know it's true. The only thing that she's done for me is give me fleas. She thinks she's cool, she stays out all night, comes back hungry, specs some friskies, try to please her, I change a little, but she remains bitter. She's a bad kitty. She's a bad, bad kitty. Yeah, she's pretty, but she's a bad kitty, bad one, a bad one, a bad, bad one. Bad kitty.
Oh, thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you. And Lynn and I had a lot of fun kind of plotting out this month of play and kind of matching up our marketing animals with our song animals. And so thank you. I love that song that you do, Lynn. So, last week, Jen talked about laughter and how good it is for us and how much she loves to do her laughter yoga. And she implemented a rule that you have to laugh at the really bad jokes, right? And so she told a couple of jokes, and then Reverend Linda told a couple of jokes. So I have a couple of jokes for y'all because it is the month of play. So I have two jokes for you. I have my signature joke, and then I have a Science of Mind joke, of course. So What does a nosy pepper do? Gets jalapeno business. I have Ivor shaking his head, but he's also laughing. And then finally, how many Science of Mind prayer practitioners does it take to change a light bulb? 3. 1 to change the light bulb, and 2 to hold the high watch. Oh, y'all, I love jokes. I love bad jokes, and I love puns. So thank you for humoring me through that. And, I really loved what Linda said last week. Just this, this time feels heavy and it feels hard. And there is a lot going on in the world. And like Irina said, last week as well, she has so much to do with the Ukrainian practitioners. And actually, I don't think she said it last week. If she did, I missed it. But Irina actually was one of the people who translated all of the practitioner materials and the testing and everything like that to Russian so that the Ukrainians could become practitioners. How incredible is that? And then she sat on the panels, and she was instrumental in bringing this teaching to the Ukrainian people. And so, I've been thinking a lot about Irina the last few weeks, really, because I think for all of us, and especially for people who have ties to both Russia and the Ukraine and everywhere in between, that there's just this pull and this heaviness of nobody wants this, that we are all longing for this peace. And so as we talk about and have this month of play and silliness, and we bring cats up on the screen and things like that, can we hold the paradox? Can we hold the paradox that even in the heaviness, even in the hardness, that there is still lightness, there is still joy to be found, that there is a way to hold all of it and to not bypass or push away or resist the challenges that we are facing, but also not to forget that our true nature is one of joy and laughter and play and fun. Can we hold all of that? And so I remember when my grandfather made his transition many, many years ago now in 2005, that my brother and myself and my mother went to the funeral home, and we were looking at caskets, and we were flipping through the magazine, and it was just it was a very surreal sort of experience. It was kind of unexpected. It wasn't kind of, it was very unexpected, and his transition, and just there was a lot of emotions. And so the three of us are sitting in this little room. They put us in this room, and we're flipping through, and some of the caskets were just funny. They just were. They were elaborate, and they had, big marble flowers and painted, and some of them were just funny. There were camo caskets and bright pink and all different shapes and sizes and colors and styles, and we just lost it. We did. We laughed and joked and played, and tears were just streaming down all three of our faces as we sat in this room with our heavy hearts and in our grief and in our sadness at the loss of the patriarch of our family. And so I think about that, and I think about this idea that we have to be serious to honor those people that we love, or we have to be serious to be spiritual. And really, I feel like in that moment of lightheartedness, in that moment of just kind of forgetting and just allowing ourselves to be in the joy of being together as a family, and be in the joy of the just absurdity and silliness of the moment, that in that way that we were truly honoring our grandfather. And that we can let go of this idea that in order to stand in solidarity, that we have to repress parts or aspects of ourselves, or that we have to repress the sides of ourselves that long for that joy and long for that laughter. Solidarity does not equal repression. That we can hold all of these things together, and really that when we are able to fully express and bring all of the aspects of ourselves to all of the aspects of life, that when we do that, that we are truly standing in solidarity, and that we are truly able to have the self-care and givingness to ourselves in such a way that we can show up for one another in a greater way. And so I invite you that as we talk about this idea of playing Twister with God, and we get a little silly, and later when we're playing Pictionary together, and we're just being silly and lighthearted and having fun, that this too is standing in solidarity with those who do not have that privilege right now. And that just as when we are in times of hardship or trouble, that we don't want everyone else to let go of their lightheartedness, that the same is true for us, and that there is a time and a place for all of it. And I hope and I know that those people that are facing real challenges and real struggle and real danger right now in the Ukraine and in Russia and in so many places in Syria and Afghanistan and so many places across our globe, that they are able to find those moments of lightheartedness and joy and laughter, and that there are moments where the clouds break apart and they are able to laugh until tears are streaming down their faces, even in the midst of the hardship and the challenges. And that, to me, being able to find that and hold that and stand in solidarity in such a way that encompasses the totality and range of humanity, the sorrow and the joy, that truly is what it means to hold this paradox and to show up and to play in this experience. So, with all of that being said, I want to talk about Twister. So this game has been around forever. I'm not sure, I should have looked up when it was created. I'm not sure when it was created. It's been around since I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure that it was already kind of an old game at that point. It's been around for a long time. But if you don't know what Twister is, it's super simple. You have this mat that you lay down on the floor. It's this big vinyl mat with these colored circles on it. And then one person is the caller. And they spin this Twister spinner, and then they call whatever the spinner says. So left foot red, right hand green, whatever it may be. And that's it. And then you put whatever it is, right hand on green or left foot on red, you put that hand, that foot on that colored space. And so in doing so, you get more and more twisted up, because as you can see, if you already have your left foot on yellow and your right foot on yellow and then your left hand on red, and the next thing that is called is right hand on green, all of a sudden you are in a precarious predicament trying to maneuver your body to have all of those hands and feet going where they should go. And Ivor just informs me with what is going to be our new system of newscaster reporting style holding up a sign. Twister was created in 1966. So chances are most of us have seen, heard, or played this game at some point in our lives. So here's some things that I love about Twister. There's really no purpose. And I have to admit that Rev Ryan and I got into a little bit of a debate about the purpose of Twister. But the way that I remember it is that when one person falls, because there's multiple people all on the same board playing together, it usually wipes out everybody on the board. just the way that it works, right? And and Ryan said, no, there is a clear winner, that you can remain standing in your awkward pose while everybody falls around you, and you have won. And apparently they were very good at this. I believe it is because they are small and wiry, whereas me, being a larger human, managed to usually take everyone out and be taken out by whoever else it was. So there are debates on this. I guess technically, occasionally there is a winner. But the thing that I remember about Twister is that the purpose of Twister is to play Twister. It's not to win. It's to play and have fun and be silly together and get all twisted up. And when I think about this idea of playing Twister with God, the purpose of Twister is to play Twister. That's what life is. The purpose of life is to live life. Amy Steinberg has a song called Purpose, and she says, living is the purpose of life. Living is the purpose. Living is the purpose. Living is the purpose of life. And I think about that because we get so caught up in the seriousness and in finding our purpose and finding our calling and making the right choices and making the right steps and doing the right thing and making sure that everything is laid out in front of us and that we've set ourselves up for success and we're saving the right amount of money and we're going to the right schools and we're getting the right jobs and we're, doing all of the right things, and we forget that the purpose of life is to live it. We forget that there is no real purpose and that in every single moment that we are living life, we're succeeding. Congratulations, you are successful in following your purpose. You are living life. That's it. There's a tiny little book by Neil Donald Walsh. He's the one that wrote Conversations with God, but he also wrote this book called The Bringers of the Light. Small little book. I believe it has 5 points in it. I haven't read it for about 8 years. But the very first page, you open it up, and he says, the first point, I'm paraphrasing, the first point is that there is no point, and that is God's greatest gift. There's no point. That we can just live. So last month we talked about Howard Thurman. This month we are talking about Rabindranath Tagore. Now, Rabindranath Tagore is a Bengali mystic and poet. And I'm going to be talking more about him next week. But just to give you a little overview, he was born on May 7th, 1861. He lived until August of 1941. He lived to be 80 years old. And he was described by his family, his father, as a creative genius with no direction. He was an incredible mystic and poet. And in his mysticism and his poetry, he did amazing things for the Indian school system, for the school system in India. And he actually quit school at the age of 14. He was great at it. He hated it, he quit. And he would go on to completely shift and turn on its head the entire way that the education system in India was looked at, and to create these visionary experimental schools in India that were based on self-help and education as a form of community development. I mean, this man was just incredible. And what is interesting to me is that we often, at least I know him as this sort of mystical side. And so when I started looking into him and who he was and what he did in the world, I was so surprised to see all of these activities that he did, this spiritual engagement that he lived out into his life. But I think about that. He was a creative genius with no direction. He really understood that the purpose of life is to live it, just like the purpose of Twister is to play it. Now then, the next thing that we need for playing Twister with our friends, ourselves, with God, with whoever you're going to play Twister with, is flexibility. you don't have to be super flexible to play the game, but it definitely helps. I think this might be why Rev Ryan has always been so good at it. They practice yoga, so they are a very flexible person, right? And they're able to get into all of these sort of pretzeled shapes. And flexibility is important to play this game because the mat is large, right? And so you have to kind of be able to move your body and shift and contort into all of these shapes and to be able to flip over and move around without falling over, because if any body part besides your hands and your feet fall and touch the floor, you're out, you've lost. And don't we need that in life? Don't we need this flexibility? My goodness. And now I think more than ever, we need to show up to life. Well, I guess we don't need to. We can do anything we want. The purpose of living is life, right? But I think life is a lot easier when we can be flexible. A couple of weeks ago, I quoted Brene Brown, where she said, "People are hard to hate close up, move in." And then she continued, that quote is very popular. She continued, she said, "Speak truth to bullshit, be civil, hold hands with strangers, strong back, soft front, wild heart." So that's what I want to hone in on right now, this idea of soft back, my goodness, strong back, soft front, wild heart. And so what Brene Brown says for me is that a strong back is one that is grounded in confidence and boundaries. A soft front stays vulnerable and curious to what life is bringing to us. And then a wild heart is one that is living out paradoxes and not giving in to the either or BS that reduces us. It is showing up in our vulnerability, our courage, and being both fierce and kind. Strong back, soft heart, wild heart, soft, my Lord, y'all, my Lord. Strong back, soft front, wild heart. And so I dove into that quote deeper. I thought that she had made that up, but she didn't. That is actually a Zen Buddhist idea, this idea of having a strong, flexible back with an open front that stays open to vulnerability and to curiousness. And so the quote actually comes from Rashi Joan Halifax, the Zen Buddhist. And what she says is, all too often, our so-called strength comes from fear, not love. So instead of having a strong back, many of us have a defended front shielding a weak spine. In other words, we walk around brittle and defensive, trying to conceal our lack of confidence. If we strengthen our backs, metaphorically speaking, and develop a spine that's flexible but sturdy, then we can risk having a front that's soft and open, representing choiceless compassion. The place in your body where these two meet, strong back and soft front, is the brave, tender ground into which to root our caring deeply. Oh God, I love that. And I love this reminder that in order to be flexible, that we have to have both things to be highly successful at Twister. It's not enough to have a strong back if it's not also flexible, if it doesn't also allow us to move and to flow and to shift and change our position. And I think that this is true in life as well, that when we have that soft front that can stay open and curious, that when we do that, then when we learn something new, that when life shifts, when our beliefs change, that we can continue to stay strong, but also to stay flexible. And in that, it becomes easier and easier to live out our purpose of living. Now, the other thing about Twister is that it's vulnerable. It is a vulnerable game to play. This idea of a soft front, this idea of vulnerability, I think comes up tremendously in Twister. How many times have you been playing Twister? And maybe this won't be so many for you, but I know it's a fair few for me. And all of a sudden you've turned to get your right hand all the way over to green with your right foot on yellow or whatever it may be. And all of a sudden you face plant right into somebody's armpit. Or you look over and all of a sudden somebody has their nose in your belly button because they are trying to reach over you to get their left hand on red. It is a vulnerable game. It is not a game, at least for me, that I choose to play with just anybody. It's a game that is played with community. It is a game that we have to be willing to get vulnerable, to get close, to lean in, to do that moving in that Brene Brown talks about. That reminder that it's okay to be a little messy, to have somebody's face in your armpit for just a minute. It's okay to have that soft front, knowing that that strong back is there keeping us flexible as we move through this game. And so as we play Twister with God, we get to bring all of these things to our game. We get to show up vulnerable. We get to show up and say, hey, you know what? I don't know it all. I'm not there yet. I haven't arrived. I'm not enlightened. I don't have all of the right beliefs and ideas. I don't know everything. We get to show up and say, I'm here to learn and to grow. We get to be flexible and allow, as the shifting winds and tides of life move us to, instead to move with them. It is the trees that are flexible that withstand the storms. The ones that are rigid, that do not bend, they break. And so when we are able to bend and move and flow with life, that flexibility allows us to play Twister with God. And as we do that, we all of a sudden are just living our lives, showing up and just allowing the purpose of life to be to live it. And in doing that, all of a sudden we can cut ourselves some slack. Because if the purpose of life is to live it, then that means that when I'm sitting on the couch and watching 5 episodes of Bridgerton in a row because I just can't get enough of it, that I am still fulfilling my purpose because I am living life. And when I am out and I am pushing and I am standing up and I am doing what is mine to do and I am standing on the front lines of supporting a world that works for everyone, that too is fulfilling my purpose. And that we get to, in our flexibility, have a balance of all of these things, a balance of play and work, a balance of sorrow and joy, a balance of the paradoxes of life. We get to hold it all and stand firm and flexible and strong with our strong back, soft fronts, and wild heart. I got it. And so I leave you with a quote from Victor Shamus. Play is a sacred act. When we are playing, the essence of all creation flows freely through us. We are expressing our true nature and connecting with the very core of our existence. Nothing is more spiritual than that. And so I invite you to play this week, whatever that means to you. Maybe it is showing up. Please let it be showing up to our community time and playing some Pictionary with your friends. Or maybe you've never been to our center before. You're just tuning in and you're like, you're wondering what's going on. Come play Pictionary. Come just play. Show up in the totality of your expression of all that includes. Hold those paradoxes. And so I invite you into prayer. I just breathe in those paradoxes. I breathe in those parts of me that are in sorrow and sadness, those parts of me that are in joy and laughter. I breathe in the oneness of being the child that is playing out in the sunshine right now, and also being the child that is running, fleeing for their lives, from the violence that is occurring in the Ukraine. I take and I hold all these paradoxes, knowing that there is only one, this one thing that encompasses all of it, this one thing that is. It simply is. And so I too must be that. And so I breathe that in and I allow myself to show up fully, and I step into watching and observing and allowing everyone else around me to show up in our fullness and our totality, in the greatest, highest expression of our own purpose, whatever that may be in the moments. To show up to life with a strong back, a soft front, and a wild heart. To show up and to live life fully out in every moment, whatever that may mean, however that may show up. And to play Twister with myself, to play Twister with life, to play Twister with God, and to play Twister with my beloved community. I am so grateful. I am so grateful for this community, and I am so grateful for the consistent, constant opportunities to show up to life fully and to play in this experience of humanity in every moment, all of the challenges and the obstacles and all of the joy and the fun. And so I simply release my word, I let it go, I know it is done as I have spoken, and so it is.
Wow, thank you, Reverend Chris. That was just so beautiful. I took a lot from that. That was amazing. I think this song really fits nicely with your talk. This is called "By the Time It Gets Dark," a Sandy Denny song. Baby, every cloud has a silver lining. Baby, every dark really has its day, and it matters to me just to see you smiling. Why don't we blow all your cares away? Yesterday is gone and will be forgotten. Today is where every new day starts. Got to be free as the leaves in autumn. You may be sad, but it will never last. And maybe by the evening we'll be laughing. Just you wait and see all the changes there'll be by the time it gets dark. Go out walking in the sunshine. Look at all the people out in the street.
Beautiful, Lynn. Thank you. So I do have a tell us question for you today. Put into the chat, how are you going to play this week? How are you going to play this week? And just drop it in the chat for us and we'll put it up on the screen during the closing song. And this is the time in our service for our tithes and our offerings. And the totality of you, of all that you bring, all of your emotions, all of your playfulness, all of your sorrow, all of your joy, all of your tears, all of your laughter, that is a gift to the center, that our ability to show up with one another with strong backs, soft fronts, and wild hearts, I got it now, is truly a gift. And if you have a monetary donation for us, we would greatly appreciate it. We are a nonprofit organization that works off of donations, and you can do that by going to our Secure Breeze site. If you go to celebrationcenter.org and click the Give button, it's super easy. It'll walk you through the process of giving online. You can also mail in a check and find our address at celebrationcenter.org as well. And so now I just invite you to bring your hands to your heart, or maybe spread them out wide as we say our offertory affirmation together. I open my heart to give and receive the blessings that our spirits promise to me. As I do, the entire universe conspires to give me an abundant life, and I open to accept it. And so it is. And now we have a blessing from Irina.
And I recognize abundance, prosperity of the source, one source that we call Spirit, God, Universe, Mother Nature. If we look around, there's always, always enough and more than enough. And I'm so grateful to know that we as a center, as an individuals in unity, participate in the law of circulation. As I know that this is the rule, the law that can be broken. I know that when I give, I receive, and when I receive, I give. And as Reverend Chris said, giving is so much more than just in a dollar bill. It is what is behind it, that intention, that love, that kindness, generosity, talent, time. It's all the gifts to God and gifts from God to the world, to each and every of us. And I'm so grateful to know it. And I'm so grateful to experience it right now. And I'm grateful for everyone who's in the slow of circulation, which is everyone. And I simply say, and so it is.
One, two, three, four.
All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws for anything I got now. Listen to the bass, it's a one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with a big to-do, and the old cow just goes moo. Moo, the dogs and the cats, they take up the middle while the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles, donkey brays and the pony neighs, and the old coyote howls. Oh, all God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything I got now. bird sings on the melodies with the high notes ringing. The hoot howls over everything, and the jaybird disagrees. Singing in the night time, singing in the day. The little duck quacks and he's on his way. Possum ain't got much to say, and the porcupine talks to himself. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. It's a simple song, living song everywhere, by the ox and the fox and the grizzly bear, the grumpy alligator and the hawk above, and the sly raccoon and the turtle dove. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. All God's critters got a place in the choir.
Oh, thank you so much, Andy and Lynn. I was dancing around and singing along. We have Andy as our special guest musician in that song because he loves it so much and he loves to sing along to it. So what a wonderful treat. Thank you both. And now, as a benediction today, I have a poem by Rabindranath Tagore. Light, my light, the world-filling light, the eye-kissing light, heart-sweetening light. Ah, the light dances, my darling, at the center of my life. The light strikes, my darling, the chords of my love. The sky opens, the wind runs wild, laughter passes over the earth. The butterflies spread their sails on the sea of light. Lilies and jasmines surge up on the crest of the waves of light. The light is shattered into gold on every cloud, my darling, and it scatters gems in profusion. Mirth spreads from leaf to leaf, my darling, and gladness without measure. The heavens river has drowned its banks, and the flood of joy is abroad. And so it is. And so now, join us right now for Pictionary on Zoom. And you can do that. I'm going to put the Zoom link in the chat right this second. There we go. So please click on that link. Join us on Zoom. Let's play Pictionary together and just laugh and have fun. I love you all.